Jambo. I was about to start with something, and then I have switched it to be Sanaa for a second now. Let me see if you are familiar with this song. Are you streaming live? Real quick, the first comment, I have a hamper for you, and you can actually sing and record yourself. Let's see. Jambo, Jambo bwana, habari gani? Mzuri sana, pageni, pakaribishwa, Kenya yetu, hakuna matata. So I'll challenge my guests to join me. Kenya nchi mzuri,
hakuna matata, nchi ya kupendeza, hakuna matata.
Hey! All right, now we're going to start this again. Now this time he's going to start it off, and let's hear the difference of how I articulated it, how I brought it out, and how he's going to bring it out. That's just how we introduce him on set. So sir, please take us through, please guide me, you know, as a chorister, as a vocalist, how exactly this song should be sung as you begin.
So this is Jambo, Jambo's bwana, habari gani? Mzuri sana, wageni, mwakaribishwa, Kenya yetu, hakuna matata. Kenya nchi nzuri, hakuna matata. Nchi ya kupendeza, hakuna matata. Nchi yenye milima, hakuna matata. Nchi yenye mabonde, hakuna matata. Nchi yenye wanyama, hakuna matata.
So you see where we miss out is mzuri sana.
Yes.
Wageni.
Yes.
And then hakuna matata.
Yes.
We don't, I don't think I knew that. I think we just go with hakuna matata. So what is the origin of the song? Because most of us sing it, roll around with it. When you meet a Mzungu, or that's what we call them, we say Jambo. When they see Kenyans, they say Jambo. But what is the origin of this?
This song was actually done by Abel Kifoto and the Maroon Commandos. This was in the 80s. And it was actually supposed to give Kenya a face, to give Kenya a signature that when they walk to any other country, they should be identified using the song. He was also using the song to try and sell tourism. Okay? So he tried as much as he could to come up with a song. Once, twice, he came to us when we were at Muungano, Kenya. And we actually did the song in a choral style. Mm-hmm. And now this is the song we used to introduce ourselves with wherever we went to.
Muungano, Kenya.
Yes.
So if people have watched Muungano, Kenya over the years, this face is familiar.
Yes.
And this is the point in time where I introduce you and ask you to reintroduce yourself with your names, credentials, and usalimia watu wote wa Strathmore. So please, now you can familiarize yourself with the viewer.
My names are Albert Apella. I teach music. Actually, I trained the choral group in Strathmore, the band, and the orchestra. Mm-hmm. At the same time, I'm a technical director at the Muungano National Choir.
So you are driven by music and
Yes.
tech. Thank you very much for giving us that history. Now let's go back to Hakuna Matata. If I hear the song Hakuna Matata, I have seen it featured in one of the greatest animations of all times. As a young person, I did watch it. I sang to it. And I cannot say everything, but if you do know which one I'm talking about, you just, let me know on our on our live. But when it starts, it says Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful... How does it feel now, years later, and even up to today, that the word Hakuna Matata is an international word?
Well, surprisingly, we still use it. Mm-hmm. I, on several occasions, have taken my students out of the country. And this is the tune that we actually do as what we call a mass choir with other people to identify Kenya.
Okay.
In fact, I was trying to prevail upon the Kenya Tourism Board to adapt that tune and quickly run with it to market Kenya so that it can be louder than it is. The media is not doing enough to actually bring it up and make sure that it's a it's a recognizable signature tune, because
Okay.
I can tell you some people in Kenya don't know it. Shock.
As we speak.
Yes.
All right. Now, are you saying, therefore, that Hakuna Matata or this particular song, Jambo Bwana, is our Kenyan tune? Is it, like someone would ask, do we have a Kenyan tune?
Jambo. Jambo Bwana. Habari gani.
Zuri sana.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
This is where it came from.
Yes.
Then from there, I start describing the country and telling you what Kenya is all about. So in essence, even without you going to Kenya, you have an idea of what Kenya is all about.
Amazing.
Yeah.
How many years down the line?
Well, 25 or so.
Still standing the test of time.
Yes.
What would it take us to ensure that this Kenyan tune is recognized, stood by, and young generations come up still having it as an identity?
Go back to school. When we go for the National Festival, let us do a tune about it. Let us sing it as a mass, from the small child to the universities. Let us all identify with this tune. Let us introduce it in the music lessons that we have in schools, so that everybody gets to learn that this is actually a signature tune that identifies us as Kenyans.
Kenyans, if you're watching today, we are challenging you to just probably write the lyrics of this song. And for a very long time, people have had a conversation of authenticity. You know, they say Kenyan music isn't authentic. You know, Kenyan tunes are not authentic. When I say tunes, I'm talking about production. And you are very conversant and very deep on lecturing on music. And I'm sure that we have certain, I cannot say for sure, but there has to be certain notes that would pick up. So where are we going wrong when it comes to authenticity in how we actually bring out our music? Well,
authenticity, maybe, again, interpretation becomes a problem here.
Yes.
But more often than not, we have actually gone to the extent of dumping our own culture.
Okay.
To try and adapt to cultures that we don't even understand. I will get a tune, run with it, get a Kikuyu tune,
yes,
but want to sing it in the style of R&B.
Okay.
Get a Luo song, want to sing it rock style. All right?
Yes.
I like the way somebody like Tony Nyadundo came up with a tune. This is a local Luo tune.
Ohangla.
Ohangla.
Yes.
And when he sang it as classical Ohangla. But Tony Nyadundo did not just do it on his own. He decided to consult. He decided to come up, see people, perform for people even privately so that people can give him ideas on how the song would be done. And he did a fantastic job. Some of his songs were done about 10 years ago, and we still listen to them today. When he goes live, we all go wild. So authenticity suffers because we do not want to do our own song. I don't want to identify with my culture because I've not been brought up to appreciate my culture. It's different from the days when I was a Luo, I was a Kikuyu. Fine, tribal issues are there, but we can teach people to have their tribes and still appreciate one another.
Okay. All right, and this seems to me like art and music would come really handy.
Very handy.
How can we do that? How can we make this a reality?
Well, there's a project I'm working on now, and it's supposed to be done at the Nandi Hills border. I'm writing a paper on how to harmonize and get people to live together without getting to clash, without getting to fight every now and then and sending security to come and quell them. I mean, sending security is never a solution to anything. And I would really want the government to embrace this sometimes. And this has worked in Uganda very well in the warring communities. When the artists come in, they come in with a very popular artists, and the artists perform come up with an auditorium for performance. Both cultures showcase. They have a common church, they have a common school, they have a common auditorium, and all that. So we do sports, we do music,
yes,
and religion
at
the same time. And as this goes on, of course, intermarriages take place. And I'm not going to attack my sister. I'm not going to attack my mother. So it can come, it may not be immediate, but it is a long-term solution to these issues that we have. If we started them 10 years ago, by now we should be seeing some changes.
And I know that almost all Kenyans, not even almost, Kenyans have, I would say, the blood of good things. And when the music is good, it unifies people in almost every kind of event, occasion, and they tend to forget what profession they are, what culture they are, what tribe they are, and I think then that art can be really, really powerful. But someone would then ask, with all the discussions we're having, what really is cultural identity?
Cultural identity.
Yes, what is cultural identity?
Cultural identity is like you identifying yourself. Who are you? Who are you as a person? What religion are you? What is your culture? You know? I'm sure if you walk to a place like Nakuru, and a Turkana person walked in, you'd identify him very, very fast.
Yes.
Because of the cultural practices that they have. Some of them have marks on there, you know, just through their culture. So cultural identity comes up, just like the Luos in the past. We used to remove our 6 teeth down here.
In the past?
Yes. And that actually identified us. And even today, sometimes you can look at a Luo and the way they carry out themselves and just know this is a Luo. No, this is a Kikuyu and all that. Some are difficult to know, but cultural identity comes with a culture that we come up with the churches, the way we go, we attend our churches. Some of us like Legio Maria, like the Jude Luos and all that. You'll tell him about Catholic, he'll tell you, I have Rome, Salaba, or Legio Maria.
That is identity.
That's identity.
And very, very crucial.
Very.
In how people now get to interact, even in forums of art, and now what we are saying, having a Kenyan culture and a Kenyan tune.
Yes.
Now let me go into, you know, when talking about Sanaa chat, you are a chorister, I would say.
Yes.
And you also work with the bands, and you also belong to a band.
Yes.
So far, as we're speaking, I don't think people see bands as, not really bands, chorals. It's very hard, even for this generation, to say we are going to book a ticket to watch the chorals. How do the chorals and the choirs survive in this generation when it comes to entertainment? If not seeing you present at the, you know, public holidays or at the, how do you call this, national prayer days, we don't see this, this entertainment anymore as much as we did in the past. Are they dying off?
Well, again, I'll come back to the media.
Okay. Okay.
The media will run very fast when they hear there's a rugby game somewhere. They will run very fast when they hear there's an athletic competition somewhere. There's a football match. But you'll tell them about a choir, they'll not bother. But I will tell you, on the low, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. Just last weekend, I had almost 6 performances by choirs. And those are choirs that I lead, performing in weddings, performing in even funerals, you know, and birthday parties. Okay? All right. And everybody appreciated what they were doing because they were doing the cultural songs that even the parents understood. Okay? So I'll still go back to the media because they don't air this. People don't know that these things happen. And this is another way that could actually be very, very important when it comes to earning a living in Kenya.
All right, that is something we want to talk about.
Yes.
Because as you're speaking, the Kenyans don't know what's going on. Most of the things that are happening are digitalized. People are moving from this to that. Now, choirs have been put in an aspect of the then kind of entertainment.
Yes.
Is it moving with the times? That's
Yes.
also another question.
Yes.
Yes, because the media gets to play what most of the people in the generation may need to, ask for. It's some kind of demand. What did you say about that transition from, they say analog to digital?
Well, we are, and we even do virtual performances. Very many virtual performances. But why I'm saying this is, whenever we want to do a proper performance, I'm now doing a cultural festival for universities, okay? Now, I am forced to market it on my own. Facebook, Twitter, well, some of the people may not understand what this man is doing on Facebook or Twitter. But I have to go there if I have to capture the crowd that I want. And I have to do it physically. When I approached some TV stations, I don't want to name them, and somebody asked me, do choirs still exist? And I asked myself, oh my God, what a question. And I told them, visit choral groups. Get out of your comfort zone. I have a choral group here. I have Muungano at KICC. I have my friend at Safari Band. I have Juma Odemba with his group at Nini. You guys should just get out of here and go and see them practice. Talk to them. Ask them about their predicaments.
All right.
So, again, I will blame the media.
If you agree with our guest today that the media is not airing the choir content when it does exist, the question I would ask the Kenyans today is, would you prefer the media, therefore, to start playing choirs and chorals on TV as regular as they play the hip-hops, the oldies, the gengetones? Let us know your sentiments, even as he says the media is on the sport, for not letting Kenyans aware that there are chorals and choirs that could still perform as contemporary as they are. All right, now let's hear from the people as well, because I'm sure they will give us the comments on maybe how the choirs are. And now let's talk about the content. Most people have put the idea that the choirs are gospel, the chorals are gospel, so it's only seen in church. Yeah, maybe you could just bring us up to speed and enlighten us on that aspect as well.
Well, yeah, I can see most of the groups are getting into gospel and all that. The Kenyan style of music has not been quite identified.
Okay.
There is a problem with that. And at the same time, we do not have very poetic Kenyans doing their stuff. Because what is happening, like if we get to Tanzania, even when they're performing, you will hear somebody who has rehearsed, somebody who knows the content of the song, somebody who brings out the content of the song. In Kenya, when I come back, there's some songs that I would not even sit down and listen to with my parents. I would sit down, and when they start playing, either my parents will walk out or I walk out. And this is a big problem that we have in Kenya that needs to be addressed. So we will still have to go back to the way music should be done.
All right.
And how should music be done? Create a script and some content in your script, then put some music to it. Some reasonable script. Talk about something and put some music into it. Right?
Okay.
Do a poem, do something, and put some music into it. And you'll realize you can do a lot of music when you do that. Kenyans believe that it's always about romance, always about, that other side of the life.
Yes.
But it's not about culture,
Okay.
It's not about, we've already talked about religion. We have this other side of life, secular side of life, which should also be addressed. Yes.
Which sells.
Yes.
In this era, throughout the world, it tends to sell.
Exactly.
So are we borrowing too much from the commercialization of music? Because you're now giving us a different angle of how you have said music ought to be done, is get a script and put music to it. Now, if you get into the production houses, it is get a beat and put the lyrics to it.
Now, that's where they go wrong.
Yes,
because you put in any word into that kind of music.
I hope the producers are listening in, and I want to understand from the youngsters how the music is really produced, because according to our guest here, who is an expert in music, choral and of course tech, is talking about the right way to do music has always been and is do a script, put something in that script that makes sense, tell something, and then put music to it. And when you say put music to it, I think he means the rhythm and the beats. However, in the generation today, what I have seen is drop the beat and then let the cipher go on. Now, you are saying that's where we have gone wrong. Yes. Please shed more light.
Now, when we get a beat and we want to put words to it, sometimes it gets to a point where we lack words to put onto that beat.
Okay.
So we want to get, because we are looking at producing it very quickly and commercializing and selling it, then we will look at the easiest thing to do, which is picking the nearest words to fit into the beat and let the song go. But if we work from the other way, then it means we do the story, and after doing the story, we put in the beats and we put in the music.
All right. Okay.
Now, in the event of doing that, once or twice we'll adjust some things as we go, and the music just comes out perfect.
It becomes sounds of music.
Yes.
I want to challenge us this morning because you're very deep-rooted in culture. Having been a part of, founding the Hakuna Matata tune, which is really a Kenyan identity so far, how can we use this music? Because Hakuna Matata was, meant to actually bring in tourists, lobby in tourist investors. The way they viewed it, Hakuna Matata actually means
no problem.
No problem, no worries.
No issues, no worries.
Yeah, because in Lion King they say it means no worries for the rest of your days. So how then can we do this in this era, in this generation, put these cultures together and the music and push for that objective of just keeping that word out? How can we fuse that together with the generation today? Not forgetting the generation has really changed.
It has changed.
Yes.
But still they need to appreciate their culture, isn't it?
Well, I agree.
My take. Let's go it the Bomas of Kenya way.
All right.
Let every, not county, but let's say county, have a cultural center where you can go, read the history about yourselves, your kind of foods, your religious way of doing things, and your music.
Okay.
Now, apart from that, let's have some national music entertainment that has been done by the past generation. People like Dr. Arthur Kemoli, the late, who came up with very good cultural songs. He actually was specialized in Luya cultural songs. He did a wedding suit, he did cultural, we call it culture. Okay, he did wedding suits. He did. He did
a lot.
Quite a bit of music, and he has quite a huge volume of music that he did. So these are the people we should actually be looking at. If we could go even to the Maragoli Cultural Festival. We normally have it towards after Christmas. How many Maragolis even know there's a cultural festival? You know? So what I'm trying to say is, if we are to go that way, we need those cultural centers. And these cultural centers should be operating throughout. We don't wait for a Kenya Music Festival, which happens once a year. So every day anybody feels like going to the cultural festival, they go, and we market them well. We don't just build and look at them.
Okay.
We market them well. We make them more enticing to the younger generation. Apart from any other music we could be playing about culture, let's embrace something else that could make it interesting for them to just go and see. And the event of them seeing, they also listen to their culture.
And someone would say, what is this unique aspect that you'd suggest as an expert? If we could think quick, if we could think fast, which one would it be?
Well, if I could look at the generation now.
Where they OD?
When I'm walking into a cultural center, I would put some music that they really want to listen to.
Okay.
While inside, then I'll teach them what I want to teach them. But as they enter, they have every kind of music that they would want to listen to. Okay?
Right.
Yeah. So there could be even a room where they can look at the artists they would really like and all that. But as they get in, there's more
Okay.
that they will listen to.
Why is it important that Kenya identifies itself with a particular Kenyan identity? Why is it important for us to say we have this Kenyan tune? Why should we have these things as a country?
It is important because wherever you go, there's no particular country that doesn't have an identity. I think it's only Kenya which doesn't have an identity, if we speak so. I went to South Africa sometime, and I took my team to South Africa for a choral performance. And when we walked onto a stage, as we were doing a preamble of what we should do, we sang Hakuna Matata. Shock on you. The South Africans were singing it. It's on YouTube.
Amazing. I think we should find it. What is it called on YouTube?
No, we just did Hakuna Matata, Strathmore University and University of Johannesburg. The Wazungus were singing it like crazy.
And as we continue this conversation, if my team can get that song, Hakuna Matata, by Strathmore University and Johannesburg.
University of Johannesburg.
University of Johannesburg. We'll play that as we end this, just to see how serious it is that our Kenyan tune should be embraced by ourselves, you know. So this is actually very powerful.
Very powerful.
So they were able to identify this is a Kenyan team on set.
On stage, yes. But why did they identify it very fast? They identified fast because Boniface Muganga was there before us.
Okay.
And Boniface Muganga used to use this tune to actually introduce Kenya, introduce Muungano National Choir. So he left a footprint there. And any single person could listen to that tune and start dancing to it. So whenever we went to Cape Town, we also sang it, and everybody was dancing with us. So that's why I say we have a signature tune that we have not just marketed.
We have just not marketed, and you're challenging the entire country today to rethink, go back to the drawing board. So you feel like Kenya Hakuna Matata should even be sung on those national rallies?
Yes.
Those political rallies that we're seeing now?
Very important. And more so because of the peace aspect.
Okay.
Hakuna Matata means we are peaceful. We don't have a problem. Our elections are synonymous with some bit of violence. Not bit, but some violence.
And we are hoping not this year.
Yes. Music should be used to bring people together and communicate the essence of peace during political rallies, during elections. And this works very well because if you come up with a tune that everybody likes and they like singing, they will want to hear the content. And when they hear the content, they will embrace it and even sit together. So that content, if we keep singing it, it becomes part of us and our children. And I don't know if you've noticed, because we're about to wrap up, there was the years, my younger years, I don't know if my younger years were way younger for you, but there was a lot of Jambo. Now it's Nyaje. Yeah, Nyaje, Mkopoa. Is this shaping our behavior and our interactions differently? Because I feel Jambo Bwana came out, even in the tone, there's some sort of subtle calmness to it than Nyaje. Yeah. Is it translating, do our attitudes translate to these things that we build within ourselves? Are we molding a different culture in the kind of music we're producing? Exactly. Okay. That's what we're doing. And again, I'll challenge this time the musician. All right, yes, please. When it gets to the Nyaje from the Jambo, then we should come up with something that embraces that and actually encompasses what the youth want to listen to. Okay. So that they can identify it with it quickly and sit down and digest what is going on with the music.
Amazing. I want us now to have a fun moment. In just a minute, we wrap this. And being a chorister, you can do several voices. Is it?
Well, not several.
But how many?
I do tenor, the lower tenor, I do bass. I'm a very good bass.
So tenor and bass. No
Yes.
sopranos. When you are guiding them, do you do a...
Sometimes.
Oh, okay. So maybe we should challenge him to do, if you're comfortable with 4, 5, 10, maybe just shock us with a number of voices. With whichever chorus you want, or how do you start off a choral professionally? Maybe just shock us. We would love to hear one person do so many voices. We only see that on TV.
Well, start off a choral, what does that mean?
Give them, like when you're queuing in voices, you guys always give so many voices at a go.
Yeah, this actually does not even require talent. It just requires you to know what the people are supposed to sing.
Okay. So let's assume there's one here.
If there's one here.
Yeah.
Now, like, let's say Jambo.
Yes, that exactly.
The sopranos will sing, Jambo, Jambo bwana, habari gani, mzuri sana. Okay?
Yes.
Now the altos, the basses will go, Jambo, Jambo bwana, habari gani, mzuri sana.
Amazing.
The tenors will go, Jambo, Jambo bwana, habari gani, mzuri sana.
And the alto?
Alto, Jambo, Jambo. What was alto? I've forgotten what the alto was singing. Mzuri sana, wageni mwakaribishwa, Kenya yetu hakuna matata. Well, alto.
Yeah, I wish you would zoom his face right now, trying to figure out how the alto didn't go well.
It didn't go well because I wish I carried the script. If I carried the script, I would read.
And you're actually, also there is a musical script.
Yes.
You should have, that's
Yes.
where the music originates.
Yes,
from.
yes.
So music, like any other profession, needs to be done professionally.
Yes. And that I also challenge the people who sing. If you're not a vocalist, see a vocalist.
Okay.
If you're not a guitarist, see a guitarist. We have so many professionals out here that will help you build your band and make it perfect. But we don't want to spend resources going to these people. We want to do everything to ourselves.
Okay.
Yes.
Amazing. So people should start investing, researching, so then music, because I believe Kenyan music and Kenyans themselves have, one, they're very lively, they have the energy, they have the voices, they have the presence. If we have these conversations and you feel like this has touched you in a way or another, let us know your sentiments on the power of culture, identity, the Kenyan tune. Now you know the origin. When did we come up with the Kenyan tune? Which year was this? The Jambo Bwana, which year did it originate? Maybe now if just want to wrap up.
Oh, I can't remember the year.
Was it in the 80s?
The 80s. It was in the 80s. When Maroon Commandos was Maroon Commandos.
Which is your favorite song with the Maroon Commandos as we close? And then we're going to drop you the glory that happened in Johannesburg, South Africa, when the choir, the name of the choir?
The Strathmore University Choir.
Yes, the Strathmore University Choir, in collaboration with the Johannesburg University, actually had this moment with the Kenyan tune. I'm so proud to say the Kenyan tune, Jambo Bwana. After we sign out, we'll leave you with that. But for now, your favorite Mushrooms song.
Mama wakina Sofia, mwambie Sofia wangu, nae atange vile, na milele, na milele. Mama we, mwambie yule wangu, nae atange vile, Na milele, na milele.
So those ones had a content, they had something to teach. But you see, they're still played.
Yes.
In some places, they're still live band. You still find young people enjoying them. Because I know if someone was, battered or they want to leave, they say, Kweli Musa, uliponio.
Yeah.
Surayago, haikuwa na lawa, hata. Thank you for gracing the show.
Thank you.
It's good to always have flashbacks on what music was, what it is, and maybe young people eventually not really pick it up or do that copy-paste, but we've also seen in the cultural, festivals where we see boys' schools, at those choirs, and they perform these songs we're singing right now.
Yes.
Very young people.
Yes.
So this is not something that this generation cannot actually accustom to.
They can do. In the Kenya Music Festival, we have a class for that.
Oh, yes? Oh, yes?
Yes, and they normally do a wonderful job.
I know. I remember at school, maybe just a great shout out to Rapogi boys if they're watching back in Nyanza, and they would do the, how do you call this? Kirinyaga Sagana.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to close with that one. Thank you for watching. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
A great shout out to the Strathmore Choir. We're looking forward to hosting you very soon. Maybe one of the Fridays, could be next Friday, depending on your schedule. And then we could just feel each of, what we're talking about right here and the aspect it brings out in the lyrics and the events, entertainment. So for today, nashukuru sana.
Asante.
So maybe I'll try to do the chorus Afro Kirinyaga with our choral expert here as we go on a break.
I don't know it.
Oh no, we can just try and have it. Have a good one. We take a short break, we come back with the Kuserereka, and guess what? I did a song early on. So you've always been wondering the face behind Mulina Wanje. Shortly after this short break.
Jambo, jambo bwana, habari gani? Nzuri sana. Wageni, mwakaribishwa. Kenya yetu, hakuna matata. Jambo bwana, habari gani? Nzuri sana. Wageni, mwakaribishwa. Kenya yetu, hakuna matata.